Money. What is it again? So this might be one of my favourite questions, and honestly one that not enough people ask themselves every day. How do we buy and sell with each other? The history of exchange has always been one of evolution. We've had barter, gold coins, and then of course paper bills. The digital age, though, now is changing the way we transact again, forever. And cashless societies are of course giving central banks huge new challenges, and not everyone agrees on how those banks are supposed to deal with those challenges. So we've been gathering together some experts and regulators from around Asia, asking them what is happening next in all of this. In particular, we wanted to put the spotlight on the future of central bank digital currency, or CBDC, and stablecoins. More than half the world's central banks are currently exploring CBDCs. The US government has just tasked the Federal Reserve to keep looking into a digital dollar. China is already speeding away with the launch of the digital yuan, and Singapore is among those experimenting with innovative digital asset payment solutions. This is what the experts have to say about what's next, wrapped up for you by Forkast's Jenny Ortiz.
Regulators are playing a big role in ensuring that digital finance will be used safely and efficiently by the public. For Philippine Central Bank Director Mel Plabasan, digital assets such as stablecoins are paving the way for revolutionizing the way we make payments.
The BSP has always adopted a flexible approach. In fact, we have recently completed a testing of the use of stablecoin, which we have seen as it really has the potential to revolutionize, to make both domestic and cross-border payment more affordable, faster, and even the possibility of using stable coins to make cross-border remittance efficient, right? So we're open to that, as long as, again, to instill trust in the system, we need to ensure that there are well-crafted regulation, nuanced regulation, it's actually, that so that the public can be enticed to adapt to this innovation.
As central banks are recognizing that digital finance is the way to go, Linda Zheng of Crypto Council for Innovation has this challenge for policymakers.
What I want to describe here is the next leap in the evolution of money, which is programmable money as a form of communication. And this is something that policymakers should consider as they design and construct their digital payment rails. Is how can they design it in a way that consumers and their citizens can be able to plug into that digital money payment system and be able to participate in that digital economy.
Now, the success of CBDCs and stablecoins in the digital economy does not rely on regulators alone. Martin Pickrod of Singapore-based MarketNode emphasized the role of the private sector as well.
And the reason why it was so important for the private sector to go ahead and make this successful is that it was the only way, or a very efficient way, of putting everybody else on notice, including traditional financial institutions and regulators, and just users of the ecosystem, to say, does this work? Because at the beginning, there's a lot of skepticism. There's a lot of people are saying, will this work? Will this not work? Is it scalable enough? Is it secure enough? And having the application from the private sector go ahead with this and demonstrate it is what was needed, so that now other institutional players and regulators can be more comfortable with it.
Labasan echoed Pickrod's point on involving the private sector. With the majority of the Philippine population still unbanked, Labasan is optimistic that digital assets can help address this. A recent report of blockchain data platform Chainalysis said that the Philippines ranks second worldwide in terms of crypto adoption. Also included in the top 5 are 2 other Asian countries, namely Vietnam and India.
We are engaging the private sector right now, even other government agencies, because retail payment would also include government payment, right? So there are a lot of policy initiatives and reforms. We are looking at open finance to further drive digital payment. We recently allowed 6 banks, digital banks. We granted licenses to 6 digital banks. So there are a lot of initiatives right now to digitize payment in the Philippines, not necessarily related to CBDCs. We already have 56% of Filipinos, so we're nearing 70%. And from 1% in 2013, retail payment in digital form now is about 30%. So we're on track, and there are a lot of initiatives.
Given its outsized influence in the global economy, the US is often a central focus for technology, finance, and regulation, but Zhang agreed that there's a lot of innovation coming out of Asia to watch out for.
I think we have a lot here in the US to learn from what our fellow Asian counterparts and the vibrant economies and companies that are currently developing in the region. And so here is an opportunity where we can use the new technologies, including blockchain, and also technologies in digital identity that could allow consumers and other participants be able to plug into the system without having to go through another intermediary.
So what do our experts think is the biggest concern for the future of CBDCs and stablecoins in Asia?
It's important that the regulators are open, are flexible, right, with respect to innovation. And even right now, we are exploring the possibility of participating in ASEAN 5, right? So I mean, with respect to its project called, it's on cross-border payment, multilateral payments connectivity project.
I would appreciate international coordination among regulators on this issue. Crypto is global, and that means the framework for regulating crypto should be coordinated and harmonized.
My key takeaway is speed, because as you mentioned, we do need a level playing field. We have the private sector that already has a working solution and continues to improve on it. We see more use cases coming in after stablecoins. It's not just buying crypto, it's also making transfers, it's also purchasing assets. And therefore, the faster regulators get their head around it, the better. And when I say speed, it's with the knowledge that actually implementing regulation will take time. So it's speed about getting started and getting going and engaging the ecosystem and starting to provide some clarity on thought processes that make that conversation with the industry much clearer.
Of course, our experts had a lot more than this to say, and you can check out the event in full if you head on over to Forkast.News. I'm Jenny Ortiz, Forkast.
All right, that is it for this episode. Like and subscribe to this video. We've got lots more content like it, and let us know what you think about all of this, CBDCs, digital assets, and the rest down below in the comments.